Hey everyone, me again. So today we're getting into some fairly esoteric surplus nerd territory, but in any case, I think it could be pretty interesting. So there's a channel out there called 8mm Mauser Man, which if you're not already subscribed to, I do suggest you go do that. He also covers a lot of this milsurp subject matter, but better, both in terms of quality and quantity. So if you're not already there, I do think you owe it to yourself to go check it out. But in any case, he did a video somewhat recently evaluating 1950s era 8mm Mauser ammo produced in Yugoslavia. He's testing it for consistency, performance, things like that. And he notes that one of the common problems that people report with that stuff, I should say this stuff, is split cases. One of the theories as to why this happens is that the brass is thinner than it should be, and then so that's kind of the deal. He didn't experience any of that in his testing, but he does note that there is actually a subtle difference in the design of the chamber and bolt of Yugo Mausers compared to your standard 98 pattern Mausers. And he wondered if that might be the difference. That's why the ammo was manufactured in such a manner, taking into account the different rifles that these would go into. And it got me thinking, well, I just not too long ago picked up a bunch of the same ammo, 1950s Yugoslav 8mm Mauser, and I have Mausers of each style, so I could certainly add some data to that discussion. So that's kind of what we're up to today. I'm just going to shoot a bunch of it, see if I notice a difference that's kind of consistent with that theory. For my Yugo Mauser, I just have a very run-of-the-mill, unremarkable M2447. For my standard 8mm, I'm just going to use a Spanish Air Force M44. It's, again, just a very standard 8mm Mauser type gun. In case anyone's wondering, no, that is not a crack in the stock. It is just a rather deep scratch. Don't know how that got there from the previous owners, I guess. Anyways, enough on that. Let's kind of get going, and we'll see what happens. I don't have any predictions. I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. Well, all right. I think we're ready to kind of draw some conclusions. I did fire more rounds than what was, portrayed in that previous clip. But long story short, I didn't really see much difference between the two. So, for example, here we have our M44 pile. Don't really have any split cases. And here's our, M2447 pile. And no split cases here either. I wasn't, amongst the cases themselves, there just doesn't seem to be any difference. Really, the only difference that I observed is that the 2447, of course, ignited the primers more reliably than the M44. I suspect the spring on the M44 is weak, and so it seems to work okay with the commercial offerings, less so with this milsurp stuff. But nonetheless, that's kind of a whole other topic. Point is, whatever the cause is for the split cases, it doesn't seem to be, or at least these results are not consistent with the rifle making some kind of a difference. Well, what does account for the difference? I'm not sure. It could be that, in the 1950s, Yugoslavia, the quality standards were a little bit inconsistent. Maybe the cases that are prone to splitting are the kind that were made on a, Monday morning or Friday afternoon, and maybe this stuff wasn't, and so that's why it didn't split at all. Anyways, that's really about it. Not the most exciting result, but nonetheless, thank you for watching as always.